Episode 276. This is awkward. Serena gritted her teeth and eventually felt that she could not speak. Now to the outside world, she was a widow. Since 3 or 4 years ago, after Jake was declared dead, she had been raising 2 children and managing the Robinson Group on her own. On social media and the major news platforms, the beauty and nobleness of Serena Robinson had been highly praised. Although she did not particularly care about the fame under her glamorous title and good character, there was the Robinson family. Now she had a shared destiny with the Robinson family name. How could she make something like that public? She could not afford it. Serena's face was grim and her heart sank. That person. Did he calculate all this before he harassed her? If that was the case, then there would definitely be a 3rd, 4th, 5th time. Feeling annoyed, she sighed and walked back to the hall where the banquet was being held. The auction site had entered a feverish stage. Keith had perceived her absent-mindedness without saying anything. He made the final bid, giving rise to an uproar. "Are you sure, Mr. Robinson?" "Yes." The Monroe Valley bid, which the Robinson Group was bound to win. Serena felt the noise around her was getting louder, making her head hurt. After a while, Keith said, "Hey." Serena looked at him with a puzzled look. "We got it, but the price is a bit over budget." "How much?" He directly showed her the price. Serena glanced at it, which was 5 times the original price, within her expectation. Serena nodded, but felt even more irritated. Her headache got worse as well. "It doesn't matter. You can handle the rest. I'm a little uncomfortable being here." "What's wrong?" Keith frowned, wanting to touch her forehead, but felt it was not appropriate under the eyes of the public. Because she was with Keith, Serena did not worry about security issues. That was why Vanessa was not with her. It was a bit inconvenient now. Serena saw his expression and smiled. "I'm just a little annoyed. You should continue with the bid and do the formalities. Call me after you're done. I will sit here for a while." Keith nodded. "Okay then." He soon walked away, and the people at the venue slowly began to leave. Serena sat in her seat with her eyes half closed. Many people noticed her, but very few dared to come and talk to her. The noble and glamorous President Serena had quite a reputation. For many years, her youth and beauty had attracted many people's attention, but she never spent time with ordinary men. Additionally, there was always a female bodyguard following her around. Although the female bodyguard was not here now, the young master of the Robinson family was not to be messed with. The man could come and approach her, but nobody had the audacity. Spencer Cox came to her gracefully, bent down, and looked at her with concern. "President Serena?" Serena's eyes were almost closed and she did not notice Spencer sitting beside her. Hearing that, she opened her eyes. However, she immediately saw a facial expression that could be compared to a zombie and was suddenly scared. The face was stiff and white as powder, but the lips were red and scary. After seeing it was Spencer, Serena was relieved. Her reaction not only scared her, but also scared Spencer, as she did not understand what just happened. Spencer looked embarrassed. She smiled and said, "I just wanted to see if you're all right. Are you feeling uncomfortable?" She had no idea that Serena would be scared. What was even more embarrassing was that she was scared by her face. Serena blushed a little and coughed and said, "I'm fine. Thank you, Miss Cox." Spencer quickly returned to normal and nodded very gently. "Great then." The embarrassment was not taken care of. Just behind Spencer were 2 men who followed her and also felt a bit weird. However, Spencer acted as if nothing had happened. "This time we did not win the bid. I did not expect that Mr. Robinson would be as resolute as his brother. 5 times the ask price. Unfortunately, we don't have that kind of strength now. Next time we will definitely be more prepared. Or rather, we will have the opportunity to work together in the future." She reached out to her. Serena stood up with a smile and nodded. "I'm looking forward to it." They were only exchanging pleasantries. The smile on Spencer's face was widening, and she said girlishly, "Excuse me, I must leave now. I don't feel very well, so I'll stay here. See you later." Spencer nodded and turned to walk toward the elevator. Just as she turned around, the smile on her face immediately collapsed. Clenching her arm, she gritted her teeth. Serena Robinson. She pressed for the elevator, went in, and looked at one of the men around her. "Did you find him?" "Not yet. I heard that he was released by the maid. without the drug or injection. He looked at the time on his cell phone and said, "He should be going back now." Spencer's lips finally curled up. The elevator stopped and her phone sounded at the same time. "Miss Cox, I found him. His withdrawal kicked in and he's having bad cramps. He was found by the road and couldn't help coming back towards the house himself." "Got it. Give him the drug, but only a little bit at a time. Don't let him be too comfortable. Teach him the result of escaping." She laughed girlishly. "I'll come back soon. Wait for me." "Yes, Miss Cox." After Keith finished the business and gave the file to Serena and went to the bathroom. Standing in front of the urinal, Keith holding a cigarette. When he was halfway through it, there were footsteps outside which sounded like high heels. He looked over and it turned out to be a woman, who came close with a blush. She stumbled and burped. He knew at a glance that she was already drunk. Keith turned his head, finished off, and zipped himself up. Putting out a cigarette, he disregarded the woman as nothing and walked toward the basin. But the woman seemed to be unwilling to let him go and fell toward him. He did not dodge in time and was pressured with her body. There was disgust in the bottom of his eyes. Keith pushed her away, but the woman even reached out and hugged him tightly. "Hi, darling,"